So, Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So, now we will be presenting about evolution of Pteridophytes, which is Megaphylls. So, our group members, which is me, Fadlin, Qasrina, Binti, Mohamad, Ridzuan, and my partner, Raihan, Ammarah, Binti, Mohamad. We are from Kuliah 6. So the learning outcomes from this topic is that first, we will be able to identify 3 types of pteridophytes, and then second, we will be able to compare and contrast microphylls and megaphylls, and then the last one is that we will be able to identify the components of the fern's life cycle. So I will start with the introduction to our topic. So first and foremost, we will learn the term pteridophytes. Pteridophytes is a broad term used to describe a group of seedless vascular plants. So the next term, which is megaphylls. Megaphylls are broad leaves with several strands of vascular tissue. So the function of megaphylls, they allow plants to efficiently collect solar energy, which leads to more production of food and can produce more offspring compared to plants that do not have megaphylls. So this is the difference between microphyll and megaphyll. So if we look here, the leaves of microphyll only have a single vein, but the leaf of megaphyll, it has branching veins. And then another difference is that there is no leaf gap in microphyll, and there is a leaf gap in megaphyll. So these are the differences between microphyll and megaphyll. Okay, I will proceed with the megaphyll evolution process. Megaphylls, which have branched vascular systems, may have evolved by the fusion of branch stems. So this is the stems. So the megaphylls, the stems will fuse to have more branches like this. So this is the overgrowing top, which is the stem, and this is the branch. So the webbing develops from the branch. So this is how the megaphyll evolves. This is the megaphyll. Okay, so next, I will describe about one of the 3 types of pteridophytes, which is the horsetails. So these horsetails only have one genus, which is Equisetum. So this is the picture of horsetails. Horsetails live in wet and marshy environments. They have a rhizome that produces hollow, ribbed aerial stems and reach a height of 1.3 meters. So in this picture, this is the rhizome of these horsetails. Equisetum can be branched or unbranched, which means, okay, this is the part of the equisetum that is branched. They have branches, and there are also parts that are unbranched, which means the leaves may have been megaphylls but are reduced and form holes at the nodes. So this is actually the picture of the here is the part of the unbranched stems. So if we look closer, this is actually the leaves that may have been megaphylls but are reduced and form holes at the nodes. So this is actually the leaves, and this is at the knot of the stems of the horsetails. Okay, so now many have strobili at the tips of all stems. Others send up buff-colored stems that bear the strobili. So this is the strobilus of the horsetails. And then about the spores of horsetails will germinate into inconspicuous and independent gametophytes. What does it mean by inconspicuous? Is actually something that is not clearly visible. So the spores are not clearly visible. And then they are sensitive to humidity and are spring-loaded. And then at suitable conditions, the spores are ejected and may travel upwards of 2 miles in an hour. So the stems of horsetails are tough and rigid because they have silica deposited in cell walls. And then the uses of horsetails are which is they are used by early Americans for scoring pots and called scoring rushes. And then next, they are also used as ingredients in a few abrasive powders. Next, I will proceed with the second type of pteridophytes, which is whisk ferns. They have two genera, which is Coleotem and Mesipteris. So, whisk ferns, they live in tropical and subtropical regions. And then there are two species of Coleotem. So this is the picture of the Coleotem. They resemble a whisk broom because they have no leaves. So in this Coleotem species, they have no leaves. And next, they also have horizontal rhizomes, this one, which gives rise to above ground stems that repeatedly fork. There are also sporangium, which is in pumpkin-shaped, borne on short side branches. So for Mesipteris species, there are 2 or 3 species of Mesipteris, and they have appendages that some maintain are reduced megaphylls.
Hello guys, so we are moving on to the ferns. So we have 11,000 species of the ferns. So normally ferns live in the dry place and the rocky places, and then ferns are also adapted to the aquatic plants. Okay, now we are moving on to the parts of a fern. So now I'm going to emphasize on only one part of the fern, which is the frond, as it's written in the meta book. So actually the leaves of the fern we are not called it as a leaf, but we call them as the frond. So the frond means the leaf of the fern. So in a mature fern, when we notice that there's something like a tiny circle under the fern, so it's called as sporangium actually. So actually when you look at the first picture, we can see like a bigger circle which is sorus. So sorus is a bigger circle, and the sporangium is the small circle which is inside the big circle. So it means the sporangium is inside the sorus. The sorus contained by the sporangium. So when we look at the center of the sorus, we can see that we have indusium, and we call them the whole thing. We call it as a spore. So when we have sorus is the singular, and when we have the plural, we call it as a sori. So moving on to the life cycle of fern. So I will begin from the mature sporophyte. So first and foremost, we need to investigate what is sporophyte and what is gametophyte. So sporophyte is diploid and gametophyte is haploid. So sporophyte contains 2N, while gametophyte it contains only N. So when the mature sporophyte, which is 2N, it consists of sporangium. So inside the sporangium, it will undergo meiosis. So when we undergo meiosis, so the N inside the sporangium, it will become haploid. So we only have 1 N. So when it undergo meiosis, then the sporangium will be dry soon, and the spore will be released to the environment. So when the spore is released, the spore will develop to become the young gametophyte first, and then the spore will develop again to become the mature gametophyte. So in the mature gametophyte, we have antheridium and archegonium. So what is antheridium and what is archegonium? So antheridium is the male and archegonium is the female. So antheridium consists of the sperm, while archegonium consists of an egg. So when it's rainy day, so the waters stagnant around the fern. So when the water is stagnant, it allows the sperm to swim from the antheridium to the archegonium. Because the sperm, it contains flagella, so when it has water, so it allows it to swim lah. So when the sperm fused into the egg, we call the process as a fertilization. When the fertilization occurs, it will produce a zygote. Zygote consists of diploid, so it has two ends. So from the zygote, it will develop to become an embryo. So from the embryo, it also will develop to become the new sporophyte, the tiny sporophyte. Yeah. So we are moving on to the life cycle of the ferns through wind. So when we don't have the water, then the spores is transported to the another place through wind. So first, inside the sporangia, it will form the meiosis first. Then when the sporangia is dried, and then the spores is released to the environment. So the wind will take away the spores to the dry land. So when the spores is taken away by the wind, then the spores will be germinate into a gametophyte. So it will produce a heart-shaped gametophyte which has a flagellated sperm, and the sperm will swim in the water from antheridium to the egg within the archegonium. So the fertilization will occur here. Then the gametophyte will disappear and the sporophyte is independent. So it will produce from haploid to diploid. So from N to 2N. Yeah, next. So we are moving on to the specialty from the bracken fern. So for the bracken fern, actually this bracken fern can spread into the drier areas. So why it can spread into the drier areas? It is because they have the rhizomes. So rhizomes basically is the roots. So when the root grows horizontally in the soil, so it will be easier for them to produce a new fern in a drier place. So we have arrived at the end of this slide. So at the end of the slide, I wanted to talk on the importances of fern. So first of all, we have fern bouquet, where it is trending right now. Like the ferns, we collect the ferns and then we gather all the ferns to form a bouquet. Then we do have the ostrich fern as a food. So we do have fern garden, and then in the medical term, we do produce fern to become the medicine. Then we have tropical tree fern. Okay, thank you from us. Hope you guys enjoyed this video very much. Then I hope you guys understand the pteridophytes for this chapter. Thank you. Bye.